Hi, I'm Lelaine Imhoff, and I'll be covering a case between Murray versus UBS SEC LLC 601 US 23. I did this project with Crystal Guzman, Maria Gomez, Leandro Nunes, Ibrahima Diarara, Zhang Yixin, and we are from Don Adams Harmon's Business Ethics class. So our introduction is that in Murray versus UBS, the case was centered around Trevor Murray, a whistleblower who sued UBS for firing him after he reported illegal company practices. UBS claimed he was let go as part of a company-wide cost cuts after a major financial loss. Initially, in 2022, the Second Circuit ruled in UBS's favor, saying that Murray had to prove he was fired in retaliation, interpreting 1514A of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act to mean that whistleblowers have to prove employer retaliation. However, in 2024, the Supreme Court overturned that decision, ruling that the burden of proof was on UBS to show that Murray would have been fired regardless. Since UBS failed to do so, the court sided with Murray. Our three main points is that a man named Murray got fired from UBS because he was a whistleblower, and not because of his performance, which is illegal. The case goes through the lower courts, and they sided with UBS due to them thinking that the 1514A of the Sarbanes-Oxley meant that the whistleblower must prove the employer retaliated against protected whistleblower activity. The case goes to the Supreme Court and gets overturned in the lower courts after the Supreme Court sided with the whistleblower, stating that the burden of proof in this case falls on the company to prove that they would have fired Murray anyway, even without his whistleblower actions. For the conclusion, the outcome is that the Supreme Court reversed the lower court's decision and sent the case back for reconsideration. Initially, the lower courts ruled in favor of UBS, but the Supreme Court sided with Murray, shifting the burden of proof to UBS. A recent update in the case is that the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan later ruled that the jury received flawed instructions, making it too easy to link Murray's firing to his whistleblowing. Judge Catherine Polk had told jurors that whistleblowing only needed to, quote-unquote, tend to affect UBS's decision, but the appeals court clarified that it must actually, quote-unquote, cause or help cause the termination. As a result, UBS won its appeal and didn't have to pay Murray the $903,300 jury award, or $1.77 million in legal fees. Our references are the Supreme Court of the United States, as well as key takeaways from Supreme Court decision in Sox whistleblowing case, Murray versus UBS Securities LLC, and a article by Reuters called UBS Whistleblower Verdict Thrown Out Despite U.S. Supreme Court Win by Stempel J.